Hey, I'm Brian from Johnny's House on XL 1067.
And I'm Ray.
It's my friend Ray.
Hey.
We do a lot of artist interviews on our station. We are a top 40 station, so at some point all the artists have come through the studio. I mean, Justin Bieber, Adam Levine, Maroon 5.
Tori Kelly.
Tori Kelly. Even back old school. It's weird to say old school NSYNC.
Yeah, I wasn't around for that, but...
No, you were a fan back then.
I was a huge fan.
But we talk to all these artists all the time, and some interviews are better than others.
Yeah, I could totally say that. I agree with that.
One of the worst, and I think I can say this, one of the worst I ever had was Justin Bieber, actually.
Uh-oh.
But here's the thing. We got Justin Bieber on the early end. He was like 14 years old. He was coming off of the whole YouTube success, and they were turning him into something, but he wasn't quite there yet. And he honestly just wasn't all that good at radio interviews yet.
Didn't he have like a swagger coach or something like that?
He didn't get the swag coach until after he left
Okay.
that time frame.
So this was before the swag coach.
Yeah, I met him, and honestly, I've met him like maybe a year after he had his little swag coach, and night and day. So the swag coach worked. It paid off.
All right.
But there's definitely probably some things that artists should probably avoid doing in interviews. Not that I'm like the end-all, be-all of radio interviewers, but I mean, I've been around 15 years. I've been around a lot. I've seen a lot of interviews, so I kind of have an idea of what works and what doesn't work.
Yes.
So.
I have to say that one of my favorites, though, was Flo Rida.
Yeah.
Just because he brought, what were those girls?
The Bubble Yum Bum girls.
The Bubble Yum Bum girls.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I think that was a great interview because he was very approachable.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to wear his gold chain,
Yeah.
so it made me feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of my all-time favorites. But back to what they shouldn't be doing during interviews.
Yeah, one of the things that I would say to someone that's going to do a radio interview or any kind of interview really is the first thing, and I know it sounds so basic, is you got to be yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I hate when they come in and there's like this set agenda. I've got to say this. I got to say this. I got to say this. Because a good radio interviewer, any interviewer really, is going to let you get to your point. Going to let you get to push in, whether it be your CD, your tour, whatever it is. They're definitely going to work that in. But what's going to make it hit, especially now with viral, is there's got to be something different. Because I can find out like when your CD is going to drop.
Exactly.
And when your tour is going to hit. Quick Google search.
Wikipedia. We know all the basic stuff.
No big
but
deal.
we try to like play games with some of
Yeah.
these artists, and they're just sitting there like single word answers like yes, sure. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
you got to do something that's going to catch people, that's going to be like, oh, did you hear that interview on XL? Or did you check out that interview on this website or whatever? And then, of course, with the viral nature of everything, it gets shared. We video everything. We shoot everything. We share it. We're not going to share an interview where you just tell us about your CD.
Yeah,
It's not gonna work.
Obviously, you're here to promote your CD, but we also want to promote your personality and get people to like who you are, so they could actually fall in love with the human being that you are, and not just your music.
Right, and along those lines, about being yourself, you just kind of got to not be like too cool for the room, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a lot of we had. Can I throw out names of artists?
I know.
I guess
I'm
I can. We had Panic at the Disco in one time, and
Oh boy.
they just didn't want to do anything but kind of like huddle in the corner. I know that maybe they were being emo. Maybe that was
I mean, that
an emo
was kind
phase.
of like their whole thing, very emo.
But they didn't want to do anything but just kind of sit there, play their songs, and then leave. And that's cool because they're good musicians.
Yeah.
But like the interview didn't have anything to it. It was seriously like in and out, play your songs, and that's up. So I think you just gotta have fun. You gotta open up. You gotta be yourself and not be too cool for the room.
Yes.
Perfect example is what Jimmy Fallon's doing on late night. I mean, they're playing middle school instruments with these artists.
I love that
right?
so much.
But what
yeah.
gets shared like all the time?
All the time.
That's what's always on Facebook, on Instagram. It's what goes viral.
And
It's
I might
different.
get in trouble for saying this, but sometimes
You're in trouble.
I don't want to get in trouble.
No, go ahead.
Boss man, if you're listening, I love my job and everything. But sometimes these interviews get forced on us. So it's like sometimes we have to sit with you guys, and you might not want to be here. You know, there's
right.
some artists where I get that vibe where they're like,
Yeah.
oh, damn, I have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go talk to a dumb radio station. But it's like,
We're not dumb.
listen, we're not dumb. We're like, sometimes, I hate you.
No, you don't.
But
Sorry.
sometimes we're like brother and sister. Sometimes it's like, okay, you have to interview these people, and it's like, okay, yeah, we'll get to know them. And then it's just like, you don't want to be here. We were forced into doing this. So it's very, very awkward. Just try to be upbeat. Just,
Yeah, I know it's early. We get up way earlier. A good example, Tori Kelly came in,
Yes.
and she was awesome. A lot of times artists will come in, and in the morning, and I get this, they don't want to sing in the morning.
Yeah.
Voice isn't ready, whatever it might be. You kind of don't want to be on the radio and put out a bad performance, but you're a singer. So for me, I think you should be ready to sing at any time.
At any time.
I mean, at any point you should be able to sing. If you know music and you go back in the history, I mean, that's go way back. I'll take it way back because this just came on TV. You can go with the story of New Edition. They sang in an alley in front of this dude that was trying to be a manager. You got to be ready to sing, and if you do, you'll kill it. And Tori Kelly came in here, and we're like, well, we know she's not going to sing, so we're trying to think of things that we could talk to her about. And no, she grabbed the guitar. She's like, no, I'm singing.
Yeah.
And she destroyed it.
She killed it. There's people that
amazing.
were like, oh, I love Tori Kelly. But then there was people that were like, I knew she could sing, but they were like texting in that they were crying because her voice was so amazing and crying because she, people can relate to her and her story. So
yeah. It's huge. And then I guess along the lines of that, and we both hate this,
Uh-oh.
Don't come in with a list of things not to ask you
Yeah.
or not to say. Now, there are exceptions. When you become J-Lo,
Yeah.
you can give me a list. I get it because you're freaking J-Lo.
And we actually were hung up on
she hung
with
up on me.
J-Lo.
I asked her if she was pregnant when it wasn't public knowledge she was pregnant yet, and she hung up on us.
Yeah, so.
That was in my early radio days. We don't do that kind of stuff anymore. But you shouldn't give a list. You should try to avoid a list of things you can't say, because most good interviewers will stay away from stuff like that anyway.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, we're not going to go in like and ambush you unless you go on like a shock jock type thing, and then you kind of know what you're getting into. But we're not going to ambush you. You should come in kind of open book type thing, because really you're trying to me, when you're in an interview, you're trying to connect with someone listening.
Yeah.
If that person becomes a fan because of something they heard, you got them, like forever. And that's along the lines of Tori Kelly. Same thing. Once you hook them, you got them. So to give me a list of things I can't ask, now I'm back to what I said the first time. When's the CD drop?
Yeah. So it's like you can't ask who they're dating, what they're allergic to. You can't ask them if they do drugs. You can't ask them obviously those are very personal things, but like
I don't even know how you went
you're
there.
looking at me
I don't know
crazy.
how you went there.
But some people, like we want the gushy, mushy,
good
drama,
stuff.
trashy kind of stuff sometimes, and you have to be willing to share that when you're up and coming as well.
Yeah.
Because people can relate to that stuff.
Yeah, and then when you become J-Lo, give me the list. That's cool, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
so basically be yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Have fun.
I think that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, be yourself, have a good time. Be open to do cool, fun things, not necessarily like I'm answering questions. You're asking, I'm answering. Don't do stuff like that, out of the box type
Ooh,
stuff.
be willing to take pictures.
Yeah,
because
photos.
there's some artists that
Yeah.
social media is everything, obviously, Snapchat. We want those pictures. So if we want to get a picture with you, please just don't be like, sure, whatever.
And the video, now that, with Facebook Live, with Instagram Live, all that stuff, you got to let us go live with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. You're trying to protect your brand, and you want to go live for yourself to make, your impressions go up and everything. But you're trying to get the word out. We're trying to get the word out for you. So I would say, basically just come in and have a good time.
Yeah.
If you do that, interview's going to go well. Good shot, it goes viral. Good shot that helps you, helps us.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when you come back around, we're calling you to get you back in. So
I mean, look at Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
He was terrible his
Right.
first interview or first couple of interviews, and now look at him. So.
yeah, it was terrible. It was painful. It hurt. It hurt. But now look at him.
Yep. We wish you the best of luck.
I don't.
I don't know how to end this.